Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Space Engineers. We're standing out on this lovely night. We can see, I guess, based on size, that's probably Mars up there and then Earth further away. Though I don't know why Mars is so blue. Yeah, standing out here on our long pier, with our ship stuck to the end, looking at the ice lake. I'm out here. Oh no, there's Mars. Oh, know what? Maybe that's Triton way off? I don't know. Mars is probably the big orange one. But, standing out here, mainly so I can do a fun cinematic walk down of our tunnel to show you I've done some changes to the elevator. So it's not a very... It's very cinematic, not very quick. But, yeah. You may notice first off, the platform is different. We have this kind of area on either side. Maybe this would be where you wait. The elevator is currently not here. So if I go and hit this lovely red dangerous call button, we can look up the shaft. And after a bit here, that should be the exit way up that little dot of light on your screen. Oh, and as we watch, there's some light growing in the distance. Some sort of strange glowing cube. Ah, I love the effect of this. Just look at it go. The pillars come screaming past. There's the elevator. So, you'll notice it's a wee bit different than you remember it being, as it jiggles slowly to a rest. So, what I did, after the last episode, and good on Dagonis in the comments for leaving a comment suggesting that instead of the timer blocks that I have, you could just adjust the, there was not a, I thought I was on the ledge. Instead of the timer blocks, you could just adjust the speeds of the individual pistons, so that one goes slow, then that one goes a little quicker, that a little quicker. And what that'll do is kind of give a slow ramp up of speed without requiring the timer blocks. But I didn't do that, because this was done before that comment went up and before the video went up. So, my solution instead, I put a bunch of timer blocks on it, got it to be ever so slightly more smooth, but not really reasonable. So I just decided, well, screw it. We'll put a roof on so that as it hurtles you down at high speed, you stay about in position because the roof's there. It's slow enough that it doesn't kill you while it's going, and that was my main goal. So the roof just kind of keeps you in the car as opposed to being hurtled out from the top and landing back on it again. But, yeah, still has nice views out. Obviously the door is a door instead of our little gangway hatch, but I think it works decently well. I'll close it, but I think it would open when I set off, so we'll just leave it. Yeah, still decently roomy. I did shrink down the dimensions as well. It was originally a block wider on each side. I'll show you that, why I did that as we go up to the top side. So door closes. We slowly accelerate. The lights give us kind of a view of the walls outside. As we go up. Any second here we should hit the turbos. See, it isn't much... There we go. There were the turbos. It is a much slower ramp up, but I think the speed thing would work just as well. It would still take a while because you'd want to essentially at every piston you would want basically slowly ramping up. So that would be give it the smoothest ride. Wait a minute. That's wrong. Why has this happened? Okay. This was semi-planned out, but this is not supposed to happen. What's gone on? Some of my pistons not go? Those are all gone. Oh, you fellas. Why didn't you go? Maybe... Let's reset it and see if it does it again? Maybe that's just a weird... They got hung up on each other? Come on back down, Mr. Elevator. They should still be. I tested this and it worked last time I was in. It's been a couple weeks, but... Cars coming back down. I do love this view, being able to see it. It's better with lights off. Just see this weird light wiggling its way down the tunnel. And then when you're standing here, you get the pillars come by. Okay. Wait for it to stop jiggling. Okay, good enough. Back up we go. Okay, let's see if it makes it this time. It's possible that in my adjusting, some of the pistons didn't end up in the group somehow. But that seems odd because I remember it working and me being like, yes, this worked. Unless maybe I used the wrong group in my buttons. It's always possible. Yeah. Okay. Let's do some fiddling. So if I go down here, it's possible that these pistons that are acting up, some of these on this leg are set to timer blocks. So maybe I messed up a timer block. Are you... Yeah. So any of the pistons that have ACC for accelerate, those are pistons that work off the timer blocks to slowly increment my acceleration. So... Oh, I don't have a terminal up here anymore. We can probably use this. So... 15 should start timer block 16. Okay. So, my guess is that one of the timers is not starting the correct other timer. So if we find the one... Looks like this one is the one that shouldn't... No, actually, hold on, because these should be extended. Yeah. No, wait, I'm confusing myself. Yeah, so this one is the one... These should be extended, and they all are. It's whatever one this one is. What are you? Let's turn on our HUD so we know we're about to run out of fuel. Okay. It looks like 13 is not being called. So the number of the piston corresponds to the timer block number. So piston 13 is controlled by timer block 13. Unless it's by timer block 12, but we'll know in a minute. It's really starting to look like the speed approach would have been the smarter way to go. I don't intend to change it, because this already exists, but it's not doing a good show of itself right now. Okay. So is 12... Yeah, so it extends 12, and then 13 does that. 13 extends 13, starts 14. Why is 12? Because piston 12 was extended. So that worked correctly. It should be able to extend. Let's see what it looks like at the other end. Because maybe they're like stuck on, or it's possible, I guess, they got damaged. Unfortunately, this thing does kind of, just with this amount of pistons, some clanging out's inevitable. So there you can see we kind of stuck to the roof for a second, but now we're going down at the correct speed. And because it slowly sort of decelerates on the way down too, it's fairly safe. You still bounce around at the end, but honestly, that's now more of a feature than anything. Ow. So, you, sir, are on shear inertia tensor. Velocity is set to something, so it can reverse. Yeah, and it does so. Why are you not getting reversed? See, this one's clearly working because it has reversed. Yeah, the piston's fully built. Yeah, wait. It would have... This is very confusing. So it would have to trigger correctly because the rest of the pistons in the chain get triggered, and the last timer block triggers the rest of the pistons to go. So the timer blocks are all working. So it's something with the piston. Maybe it's not got enough force? Up that to make it just red? Yeah, it'll go. Will this one go? Because this was also a treble one. Yes. And their associated timer block does trigger them correctly. So, acceleration 13. Block 13 should reverse acceleration 13 and start 14's timer. Is 13's timer... 13's timer's good. Let's try... So, I had him at 1 second. Let's try 2 seconds and see if that improves. That's fun. Okay. Let's see if we make it to the top now. It'll be a little bit slower because the timers are slower. But maybe there was some weird thing where, because of the speed, you know, it was iterating at 1 second intervals. The actual piston, for some reason, didn't get called. It's a weird... That was all gibberish. But let's just see if it magically works, tweaking this. Sure hope it does. I want to be able to show you the reason why I had to make it 1 block narrower on each end. Well, it's looking decent. We should reach the top of the tunnel here momentarily. Yeah. And we stop here. If I go down... I'm gonna run out of power. I'll be back in a moment, I guess. Okay. So you're still extended. Can I reverse you manually? Yes. Okay, so it's 4 pistons, 12 through, or 13 through 16. I can reverse them manually to make it go. Maybe. This could be, this'll add some instability in the system, but maybe if I turn off shear inertia tensor, because that can sometimes, confuse things. And these are kind of down at one end of the system, so maybe it's because these are rubbing against it, it gives enough sort of friction that these four think they can't move. Okay, we'll see what that does. Let's call the elevator from the bottom and see if it arrives in one piece. In theory, nothing should be able to do damage to itself because it's all a subgrid of the same thing, and subgrids don't do damage to each other. I don't know if I trust it fully, but that's the idea. If anything, this may make it make either end a little bit more bangy against the sides of things. It'll take it a second from the very top. Oh yep, I see the light growing. The time it takes does make me think that it started today at the very top, and for some reason when I got in it. Okay, here it is. And now it's doing the opposite. That's so weird. Okay. So it should be extending. No, look at that. Hold on. These aren't getting reversed. Could it be... So this should be 13. Set up action. Piston accelerate 13, reverse. Block 12 is starting block 13. Block 13 should start what it does after 2 seconds. Let's see. So if I hit start after 2 seconds, it extends. Oh, I've just broken the sequence, because now, yep. Okay, well that was the wrong way to do it. Goodbye. I need more fuel now. Huh. So that's interesting. So it works, but it's almost... This feels... You know, I don't love calling out, just blaming everything on glitches, but this feels more like, space engineers getting confused because there are way too many pistons type of scenario. Unless there's just something I'm obvious that I'm not seeing. Yeah, they go up. This one stays here. Once these reach the top, what I'm going to try and do is trigger... Okay, feels like the top. Let's trigger elevator timer block. Start, and then... Let's see... Yes, I'm now auto-dampened to this piston. So we'll watch it and see what it does. Oh, I'm attached to that head. Okay, it's extending now. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, I think these pistons are still in the main piston group. Let's see if we can... where is... Let's search pistons... Yeah, look at that. Okay, for some reason, I somehow managed to get them here without removing them from the piston group. So what's happening, they start reversing and then reverse the other way because they essentially get told to reverse again by the main group. So save elevator pistons, 13 through 16, reverse them now to bring us all the way down. That explains it. I must have not, because I swear it worked before though. I must not have tested it correctly. Or maybe I thought I tested it after making those changes and didn't? Can't recall. Also, we should share the inertia tensor on them again. Help stop some of the wiggle. And I think... I don't know what my topmost piston is. We'll check here in a second. Because I think I don't want share inertia tensor on it. It may have it now. But okay. At long last... How long are we? 26 minutes into the recording. Probably not that far into the episode. Hopefully I'll have cut that back. But now at long last, let's go check out the top of the elevator. And I'll show you why the car is the width that it is, and pardon the reason why there's this roof here will become apparent. That off. Put our welder away to enjoy the views. We're on the afterburners. This might make some people, actually, it'll either make people sick or YouTube compression will freak out and just make this a weird glitchy blur because of all the texture moving quickly. Look at that. The sun's rising. We slam our way into the station. So this is why, part of why there's a roof. And why the roof I have the little slopey bit. I want it up here to be flush. So that, one, it didn't take up as much space, because I'm going to have a floor here, and this will be kind of the area of the observation. So I wanted it to be flush to the hole, but having it before with the flat sides, I was worried that it would come up, snag on some of the flush angles, and then just get stuck. So I figured if I have a slant down here, which these are slopes, and a slope here, they should be able to just sort of slip past each other with a loud, terrifying banging noise. So yeah, we're here. So now that we're finally at what I'd consider the real start of the episode, I'll talk about my plan for today. That is to finish this tower up, get it kind of laid out, get the wind farm along this ridge laid out, and see where else I go. And to do that, I need steel that I don't have. Back down the elevator. Okay. Oh, and let's do a quick hop. What are... Okay, no, it's already off. So that's good, probably. Okay. So I guess what I should do first is get my various... We'll just get the whole listing. I think I only need this and the square. When I get my corners clear... Yeah. I'll just kind of slap these up. I'll have to come back and weld them eventually. But we'll get the corner... Actually, we'll bring the corners to there, because what I plan to do was a sort of Space Needle-esque flared out saucer section at the top of this. So I think that'll be cool. Maybe eventually we can build a rotating restaurant inside it. Okay. So those are the four corners of my tower. Now, let's go ahead. I don't want this thing to be too big, but I do want it to kind of stand out a bit. So I think we'll have... Yeah, so we'll do cubes on each of these, and then we'll kind of circularize it And that should give us a good gist of scale. In fact, here. We do like so. This is a little trick. I can't remember. I don't think I did this. I maybe did similar for the dome. But I found a good, if you're doing a sort of small saucery type thing, I found it works well to essentially make the square sort of like this, where you have 2 blocks and then cornered to 2 blocks, like so. This is sort of from way back in the Minecraft days, how I'm kind of processing it in my brain. But what this shape in squares allows you to do, if I put some of these fellas in here, somehow, there we go, I can have the sort of 2 slopes. I'll have some light armor 1 slopes here, and then I can have that there. So at this level, you get 3 flat, 2 blocks wide on the 2x1 slope angle, and then a 1x1 slope angle. Then you continue it out the other side. Now the only thing I may do actually, yeah, I'm gonna change, ignore everything I just said. So this is how you did it back when we only had these 3 sets of blocks. Back before any of the sort of special shaped corners. So the only way you could do a 2x1 slope around a corner was to use the 2x1 corner bits. And that still works if that's the look you want out of whatever you're doing. But I think because this will be a relatively flat, thin piece, I think it'll look better using these guys. So 3 of those along there, those there, and then 1 of these do the same thing. But now this corner, it's very hard to see in this. Maybe here I'll show it. This corner's more flat. So then we'll have a piece of glass here, and then probably repeat it. I'll have to figure out how to give clearance for the piston. Maybe half blocks there. But yeah. That's what I'll do. Because then I can still use, if I find them, these bits here, and from the top you still get your 3 flat, 2 angle, 1 sharp angle, back out. Niceness. So, and before I ruin it by placing blocks, then it becomes 3 blocks in a row, and then sort of a 3 block corner slant where you just have block in, back to your 3. That's all gibberish. This is my attempt at doing some sort of building style tutorial. It's probably not helpful, but that's for you to decide, I suppose. Once I get this laid out, stop it, you. Once I get this laid out, it should become a lot easier to deal with because I can weld it all while standing on it. You can see I've already burned through one of my tanks that I brought up. I've got a second one that I brought specifically because I knew I'd burn through all the fuel. Guess this is a relatively high gravity planet though, so it makes some sense. This is something I've found useful as well when building when building dishes like this. You sort of basically, how to describe it? Jesus. I just did it, so you kind of watched. But I build sort of rotating 90 degrees one direction, I build the whole circle, and then I just start back the other way, because, so I place that there. Now, instead of having to, like, flip it all about and do that sort of stuff, this is how it was originally. One button click, and I keep going. It's probably not all that much quicker. Maybe a little bit quicker than the other way, but it's a lot more mentally engaging. Yeah, now it's all made of sheet metal, or of iron bars, but this is a pretty spacious looking area. This should work well. I could almost... I'd have to change how this works to make the tower come in correctly. But I could almost shrink this whole thing down a bit if I wanted. Heck, in fact... that's way too big of a task. I was just thinking I could shrink this tower down to being very thin, because it doesn't need a ton of room inside. And if I use half blocks, wherever they are, there they are. If I were to use half blocks here, that would give enough clearance for the elevator. And I'd just have, instead of this whole block, I'd just have a half block, and then whole blocks down each side. God, do I want to... See, this is a bummer. Now I want to do that and shrink kind of this whole construction down. Would it look good shrunk down? I hope I don't run out of fuel up here. Oh, it probably would look good shrunk down. Even if I don't shrink the dish. Even if I leave this area, or the saucer, I guess I should call it. Even if I leave this saucer kind of this size, because it gives a nice, you've got plenty of area here to kind of walk and put some stuff. You can have stuff around here, then plenty of room in here to do whatever. Curse me and changing my designs midway through. Oh. Okay, he's looking clear. You know, we'll make that decision later. We won't weld up any of that down there, except for what's already welded. I'll focus on getting the dish done, getting the wind farm laid, and then we can decide the rest later on. Because none of it should be... I should be able to rework this with all this stuff up here built. So, now the question is, how much steel do I have? 100. That's 4 blocks worth. This is going to be a job for the weldy, I think. I probably don't want to build the roof before I build this. Okay. Well, we've got that. This is the sort of layout. What I'll do now, while I'm up here, I'll start laying the run for the wind farm. How do I want to do that? Let's land on this rock. So my thinking is, I'll run some sort of beam structure from about halfway up the tower, kind of run it over to here, maybe punch a hole through this rock to run it straight out to the field over there, where I'll build a sort of structure, or what I may do, because they aren't perfectly lined up, I may do a run this away. It'll come out onto that field there. I then build a little stair-step structure that gets it up the hill. Then I have along the ridge line, I have the wind farm. Yeah. Now I have those. What I kind of want to use are these things. Because they kind of, one, they'll look different. Yeah, they'll be different to that, the actual structure. They sort of look like they could carry cables. You know, they look like really big insulated cabley things. And I think they make more sense. I've done it in the past as you use tires and just don't weld them up all the way, and they look sort of power conduity. The other option would be actual conveyor pipes, but that's a bit of a waste. And they still need interior plates to lay out. That's my main hang-up, because to build one of these I need interior plate and I have steel plate. Which means my whole plan of doing this now, instead of just welding up the floor like I should, I still have to go back down anyway. So screw it. I'm going to go get the weldy, I'm going to weld up this floor, and then we'll do the wind turbines later. Right. Okay. Well, that's a floor done. I may have to do some weight balancing to take back off, but that should be alright. The elevator is not here, which actually made the welding quite easy. But it's a good thing I have this button up here to call it back. Because now we need to actually go get the interior plates. Yeah, can look. I guess I didn't take time to really appreciate. So this is what the view will be like. My plan is to do this entirely with glass wrapping around. Then I'll have a roof on it and whatnot. And I'll probably try and... Oh, actually. Dang. I'm not going to be able to pressurize it because of the elevator, am I? Unless I find a way to seal this area completely with like a door. Hello, elevator. See, that's why the angles, because it kind of judders its way in. Yeah, I might be able to seal this with a door. The downside is it'll unpressurize anytime the door opens. But that may not be a horrible issue. I guess I could make an actual airlock for it. That's going to be big. I'll figure that out when I get there. But this nice wraparound view, we'll be able to see the whole ice lake. See out and around, we'll be able to kind of observe anything, any enemies in the surround. Oh, that was another thing I wanted to do, was put a turret up here. That's going to be a bit of a tough job because I won't be able to pipe it up. Unless I just manually fill it. That could be an option. It gives me a reason to come up here. Aside from this view. Anyway, elevator's here. Back down we go to get our interior plate. Maybe we'll watch it this time. And we're here as bouncy as ever. That'll be fine, I'm sure. Not an incredible amount of interior plates, but I guess it'll get us started. I guess I could fly up there. And it would actually be... it would probably be just as quick, maybe a little quicker than taking the elevator. But, I mean, just... Let me step back so we get the full ominous view. Just look at that. Imagine I'm walking forward right now. That is wicked. It's just a strange capsule attached to some giant arm. Stairs leading up to it. Ominous backlighting, or ominous black behind it. Just looks like something you want to... I feel like I'm getting into it and going to some portal to fight demons or whatever. Yeah, I'm pleased with this. The whole tunnel elevator deal is probably my favorite part of this base. I think it came out really well. It's got a lot of cool atmosphere. Function of it is maybe a little bit more questionable. I mean, it works. I'm going up at high speed. I'm traveling quite a distance at high speed. Slowly come up. That part's maybe a little more questionable. But yeah, I can just walk straight out. There's a ship flying off in the distance. Doesn't have a beacon, so that's neat. You know, I'm pleased as punch with this. Okay. Another benefit in the elevator is it saves me the hydrogen of flying up here. Which is quite the expense. So I probably want this coming through... about here-ish. Let's go here. So, and obviously this will take more to weld up and make official, but this is just me laying stuff out, and I may, whoops. I'll probably do the actual, making things finished off camera. Okay. So that's there. If I start drilling, hopefully, yeah, it looks like I'll be able to stay underground a bit. Because I want this to be a tunnel through the rock. It doesn't super matter that it's, you know, a tunnel or straight or whatnot. Really, I just need to be able to get in here to place the pipes I need to place. Oh, hello. I was just about to say, I wonder when I'm going to break out from the ground. Right there. Let's see if I've made it anywhere remotely straight. Yeah, see, I've kind of missed. Give service access so that you can get in. But part of this is just pushing straight through rock. But that's fine. I just need enough of it that I can get it out there. And it looks like actually, I think I'm going to be too low. Because yeah, the surface of the ground is here. Those are way down there. Okay. Well, maybe that's where I finish. I can have it pop up on a pillar here. And then run this as a flat line of blocks all the way to where it needs to live. Because I can access all those. Now, yeah, that should be alright. It won't look incredible. Just being a... Actually, maybe, hold on. Maybe. We'll see how this works. We'll run that up like that. There are no... Yeah, no. Unfortunately, there's not one of these that has like a side connector. So we'll just do it like this, but then we'll continue running these along. Yeah. And then they'll run to there. Now where do I... My vision was to have the line of thingies along this. So I need to get to about there. Let's go ahead. This is going to get weird. I don't know if I'll like any of the way it looks. I think from here... If we just kind of run it up along like so. That might be about the right height. Then swing this over, get it about aligned. I'm probably going to need more steel than I... maybe not. Yeah. So bring it to there. So actually, let's do it a block lower. Yes. This will all make sense in the fullness of time. Those two should be connected because they're connecting to the same grid. So, now I run my line along like so. Up like that. Not up to the top yet. That's okay. From this point, this will be the wind turbines, so... If I kinda... No, I need one more. I need this one here. Okay. Now if I just run this along in a line, it'll intersect with the hill. Yes. I need one more up. Yeah, this is the downside of not having the ability to do like proper survey work. I guess this is proper survey work in a manner of speaking. Okay. Yes, so this will be the line of wind turbines. We'll run along this structure. Yes. See, unfortunately, the ridge is off axis. I don't really feel like doing weird hinge stuff to try and get it to be on axis, so... Yeah, because I'd love it to go along this way, but it's not going to do that. So this should be good enough. Now, do I like this weird salmon runny structure? Don't have too much option about it, really. I could conceivably turn these into tubes. See, that's the downside of this, is I'd love to be able to run this as these tubes the whole way, but we don't have the tubes. So it runs along like here. I could replace this with a angled piece. That might improve the look a little bit. We'll leave those as is. Let's see if I like it with just a floating tubey column. So, nope, I don't want to die. That is the wrong way. Okay. That's something. That's something. Maybe if I turn this into some sort of tower in its own right. Oh, that's smart, actually. So we have this, which runs along, connects in with... Actually, can change this. We'll use one of those, and then we'll have this just slope down into it, into the hillside, so it sort of looks like it's connected and tied in with the hillside. Maybe we'll put some of these down here as sort of structural support. I'm out of fuel.
Fuel critical.
Now that's bad. Okay. Well, I think my best bet is going to be to do a little hop like that. Okay. Great. And now, thanks to the elevator, I can go get more hydrogen with no issue. But we can sort of see, so we'll have the pillar running out from there. It goes under the rock, which is cool. You can kind of see it disappear into its hole. You can see it kind of pop out. That should be low enough that it won't look too odd having the square block there. Especially once I paint all these like a black or something. So imagine instead of this slanty bit, I'm going to do a little tower with like a little blinking light beacon on the top. Heck, it could even have a wind turbine on it. But that'll come later. So then the pipe will run from that tower over, and then that is the actual structure that will have the poles and the wind turbines on top of it. What do I need to place a wind turbine? Where are they? They're in interior plate. Perfect. And I have 81 of those, so we'll go get some more bits as well while I'm down there. And some fuel, and some energy. Got plenty of oxygen. I really, like, at the rate I burn through oxygen, I don't even touch the tank generally. It's still 100%. I could honestly get rid of it and not worry too much, given I run out of energy so quickly. It's cool seeing the GPS slowly come level with us. Okay. So tower structure. Right, I forgot I'm full of stuff. Okay, not tower structure. First off, let's go ahead and start building the turbine emplacements. So we'll do 4 up. That should give it enough clearance. And maybe 5 apart from each other? I don't know. That sounds reasonable. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I screwed it up at some point. This point. Those are good. I need one more U. Have that kind of slope back down. There. Now, I could stick ones off each side, and that would probably be smart. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Just because I don't actually need all that much power. This base is pretty efficient. I mean, I have the 3 wind turbines down as the, down at the beard down there, and they seem to do everything as needed. It may look cooler, though, with one sticking out. Pardon the pain is, again, because we don't have a connector bit that has the circles. These line up perfectly, so it looks like they're meant to be on this pillar. I could try and use these, the DLC rounded conveyor pipes, because it has a piece like this, which is handy. The only downside will be these are more expensive to weld up, and it's kind of a waste because I don't need the conveyors. We'll try it with this, and we'll see how they look once they're fully welded, and I may come back to this. But for now, that'll be 6 turbines going, which is double what we have operating now if I remove the ones down at the landing pad, which I may or may not do. So, now, tower. Okay. So we want to actually get rid of that. I'll put that in there. Yeah, I think what I'll do, this will be a perfect time to use the round blocks. Because it'll be a nice 1x1 smooth corner. Other stuff here is curvy, so it'll kind of match the aesthetic. Yeah. My plan with this, so we'll kind of go, yeah, we'll go a couple up, curve it back around. Oh, you know what? Dang. If I made these conveyor pipes, oh, do I want to make these conveyors? Because this would be the perfect spot for a turret to defend the wind turbines. Except it may shoot the wind turbines, but that's fine. Oh, it's like designed for this. We're doing it. It's the same stuff to lay out as these, so they aren't too bad. It'll be more expensive to build, but it'll also give me more of a reason. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'd like a turret here somewhere as well, I think what I may do is, this is not the center, so I may put a little stalk up above this, have a cargo container here, connected kind of to this pipe network, that I can then run down. Maybe the cargo container would be here, because that's a piston, not a pipe. This complicates things. Especially if I wanted to thin this down. Because now I'll be running conveyor pipes along those to here. This gets convoluted. Well, that should be fine, because this is kind of the back of the tower anyway. You wouldn't be seeing it. It's not the presentery side. So I could just, if I narrow down this tower, I could just have the pipes here exposed with the walls on either side. That should be all right. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Well, we can start here. This is all connected, so it shouldn't do anything drastic and irreversible. So, put a junction in there. We will have, on top of this junction, eventually will be a cargo container. Connected in. So part of the purpose of up here is you come up, you put ammo in the cargo container to feed the defense turrets up here. Yeah. I'll probably not talked about it quite yet. Part of my plan is to put walls along here to kind of cover up this part of the elevator system. I want the car exposed, and I want you to be able to see the hole. Probably put like railing there and there. Or maybe glass if I decide to try and pressurize this. But, yeah, I want this to be visible but closed off. And I want this part to be less visible because it's less pretty. Okay. So cargo container there. Accessible so that you can fill it up with the cargo you need. That could also be where I connect my vents so that I can pressurize in here. Yeah. So, we then run with just traditional piping down to there. Angle you... No, no, no. Don't spin like that. Angle you there. Yep, those are all connected, so get rid of this. Hope I have the room for it. I may not. Okay. Well, it's easy. We'll just... No, I don't want to weld up that. We can just load some more in here. Oh, and there's... I forgot there's a ton of steel plate up here. Really shouldn't have brought more. That should be enough. Okay. That's still connected at that end, so this pipe won't fall away. We can take some of it back. Away with you. Okay. So. Another junction there to give us connecting points. And then from this junction, we'll start using our fancy pipe. We'll leave that on the hotbar, though. So. One of those. What is... See, this is weird because they have so many decorative options. So there's this indie bit. There's this that has a little flange. There's this that's just straight. Maybe we do flanged like this? That'll look cool, but it's a lot of effort. Will it look cool? We'll do this with the flanging up until the tunnel. Because after the tunnel, you barely even see the piping. Yeah. Nope. Okay. We'll just get rid of all this. Actually, we'll leave this so we can... Well, no, because we know where we're going. It's a straight line. Yeah. So we'll bring the pipes on through here. Oh, we'll fall off the mountain
Energy
first.
low.
Still got some fuel, which is good. Okay. That will be the last flange piece. Oh, that's even fancier flange. Okay. Yep, and oh, out you come. This, from this point on, is mainly just functional. This is about where we want our angle. There you are. Okay. Another angle. And now we have that nice, so when we look at it, it won't be the, we won't have the flat edges. We'll see an actual curved piping piece, which will be nice. And we don't need to worry about it here because this is just a straight run. Because that's not going to be piped because I don't think I'm going to put a turret anywhere there. Then, just for visual interest, so we get a little splash of yellow here, we'll have that. The normal conveyor, normal cornered tube. That up to there and slap a turret on top. Perfect.
Fuel low.
Oh, crap. Okay, we're back to this again.
Fuel critical.
Yeah. Time for another. Let's get closer and then do a quick hop. Whoop. There we go. Stuck the landing. Okay. Yeah, so visually this won't be too different. It's still tube-looking apparatus, but that should work well. Okay. So, we have our pillar tower. We have our connection over to the wind farms. We could go ahead and slap a turret up there just for visualization. So, defensive turret, we have our pipeline that kind of runs along through the rock, is suspended in this section. Go up. Let's land up here. Yeah, I think that'll look good. So, the bulk of up here will be just kind of sweeping views of the surround. But, come back here, have a cargo container here, probably put some walls up. You'll be able to see kind of the wind turbines. Maybe I'll put a control seat back here. It'll be the sort of turbine management desk. Have the defense turret over there. Have another one up here somewhere. Oh, there's a big fella. I guess I could go ahead and throw some of this stuff in. So I want some of these. What do you need for windows? Girders. I don't have girders. So we won't put windows up. Cargo container. And it doesn't need to be very big because... no, because I can access that from below. So you may notice... Well, actually, you can't from here. If I fly over here... so I've put in the walls on all three of these sides. I've left this one open so I can weld up the interior. I should be able to access everything. Can weld all along this. Out through the tunnel. Connect in here. If I decide to shrink the base of the tower, I may tweak how this connects. But that shouldn't be a huge deal. I can just either put the conveyor there or just not worry about it. We'll decide that later. But yeah. Can weld up this. Let's pop down so... Yeah, maybe just one desk up here. Sort of to look out, observe, make sure the wind turbines are working well. Kind of whatnot. Out here will just be open, maybe with some seating and some plants about. I'll use the panels to make... Except I can't weld the elevators here. Okay. We'll send the elevator away for now. We stick that there. Stick panel there. Panel there. We'll have glass here and here so you can see the elevator coming up. Maybe... yeah. Let's get one of those on our hotbar so we remember it. Gonna move the button. Maybe to... over here. See, the downside... well, let's finish this first. I'm sort of rambling through my thoughts. So, I'm moving the button so that I can have an airlock here. We'll do the fairly thin ones. So you go through the airlock, come out, you're in here, yada yada. Maybe if we... something like that'll be fairly low profile. Yeah. See, the downside is I can't place a button where I'd kind of want to. Because I'd love to place it just like up against here, tucked in the corner or something. It's not going to really work. So that'll be glass. In fact, this is tough. I don't love these here. I don't really want to do a full-on... that just seems too big. Though this is the most narrow, you still kind of come out to this view. This will be glass, so I'll have enough room, and then you can kind of wrap around and have stuff each side. We'll go for it for now. This may change. But what it allows me to do maybe is... I could have that button, or I could have one of these. Maybe one of these on each side. Yeah. It's a little convoluted, because what you'll have to do is hit the button, and then I guess you can either watch it come up, or while it's coming up, go through into the airlock. But that shouldn't be too bad. And maybe I set this door up to only be able to open when the elevator's here? No, that's a horrible idea, because then the airlock doesn't work. Huh. I'll figure it out at some point. Let's put this back. I cannot, because I don't have the parts it needs. Okay. That decides it. We'll have a red danger button. We'll just have it on one side. So if you want to take the elevator, you come around to this side, you hit the button, which will be set to that one. Trigger now. So you hit that button. The elevator will start coming up. In the meantime, you go around, get into the airlock. Wait for it to arrive. And keep waiting, because it takes a while. That is moving, though, so that's a good sign. It's on its way. There it is. I don't want to be standing here. Okay. And elevators here. Yeah. So you'll be able to see, you could watch it from out here and then come into the airlock later if you want. I think that'll be elegant enough a solution for my needs. So yeah. I think with that, that's where we'll call it for today. Made some decent progress in laying stuff out. I mean, this whole floor exists now. We've got our wind farm over there. We've got a little bit of defense, which the base sorely needs. Especially with reavers flying about. We're kind of set up to do some more and finish the top of this stuff. I think that should be pretty good. So I guess we'll write it down as we go. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Feel free to check out any of the other stuff I've done. And until next week, bye-bye.